The defending world champs arrive tonight with a sense of desperation. No team has ever come back from a 3-1 finals deficit to win an NBA title.
We all in tonight. That's it.
I mean, we know their sets, they know our sets. It's not about X's and O's, it's about going out and making it happen.
4, 5, 6.
Good job. Wonderful young man. Good job.
Nice hesitation. There's that teardrop from Tony Parker. He looks superb to start. Only a couple of minutes, but Parker looks like he's pretty sharp. Here comes Wade the other way.
Wade crossover power move right to the rack. Takes it up strong and laid it in.
Boy, this is the most aggressive I've seen him this series. James goes to the basket, banks in another.
James unstoppable on the paint. Halfway through, score tied at 49-49.
DL goes in, rejected by Bosch.
Great move. Everything's great. It didn't go. It's all right. Get back at it.
Excellent defense from Danny Green to make it a tough shot. These two teams getting after each other right now.
San Antonio the other way. Parker spread floor. He'll whirl in with the right hand, rejected by Bosch.
Two key blocked. Superb defensive plays. James drives, blocked by Duncan. A physical play and the pace picking up here. Miami Heat so far have answered after getting blown out in game 3.
Right, I want you still being aggressive.
Yeah.
Okay?
Driving baseline, Green, cross court to Ginobili, intercepted by Wade.
Around Neal, right hand jam! Oh, what a play by Wade!
And Wade with firm command of all his tools tonight.
Allen kicks it out to Wade. Wade to the basket, up and under, and banks it in. What a performance from Dwayne Wade.
San Antonio Spurs, they were on in Game 3 of the NBA Finals. The Spurs' 36-point win created the possibility that San Antonio might not have to leave home if they could win the next 2 games there. LeBron James showed up in camouflage for Game 4, vowing to lead a bounce-back effort, something that's been a big part of the Heat's playoff story this season. Spurs looking to take a 3-1 series lead, though. Tony Parker in the starting lineup despite that hamstring injury. Before the game, Magic Johnson with some advice for LeBron James.
Look, you can be Magic and Michael. Just blend them together tonight, LeBron.
So he started out like Magic. James with the rebound, and he starts the break. And he's going to keep it. He'll finish it himself. And Tim Legler pointed out, James not hesitating at all after a lack of aggression in Game 3. Thiago Splitter stripped inside. It's James. Another bucket in traffic. No jump shots. And then passing like Magic Johnson. The nice touch pass to Wade for the layup. And then, well, he's got to score as well. The jump shot, when he took them, they were falling Thursday night. Other elbow, same result. Here's James with Doris Burke on his approach in Game 4.
Why do you personally look so different than you did in Games 2 and 3?
I'm just attacking, just playing my game.
How about Tony Parker? That hamstring didn't seem to affect him. Scoop shot, so creative with his finish. Great concentration with James all over him, and he gets the fall. Under a minute left in the half, Parker in the lane. That teardrop that he's so effective with. Parker with 15 points in the first half, game tied at 49. Now, Miami's big 3, that's James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh, scored 37 of Miami's 49 first half points. And they didn't let up in the third. Wade, layup and the foul. Saw a tweet from a Heat fan earlier on Thursday that said Miami is still Wade County. Mario Chalmers to James, who throws it down in transition. James with 33 points. And when he missed, Chris Bosh was there to crash the offensive glass for the tip-in. The Heat with 5 offensive rebounds in the third quarter alone. Later, Wade drives inside, bucket in the foul. The Heat's big 3, 23 points in the third quarter. And they were doing it defensively as well. Manu Ginobili to Tim Duncan. Duncan rejected by James. And the Heat with a 5-point lead after 3. Duncan in the game 6 for 10. Did have 20 points in the game. Fourth quarter, Gary Neal trying to keep the Spurs close. He's got no conscience, but he's got range from way out there. 3 for 4 and 3s for Neal in this game. Spurs down 5, but then Dwayne Wade took over in the fourth quarter. Just 8 total points in the second half in games 1 through 3. Ginobili can't get there. Wade spinning and winning. Later in the quarter, with the Heat up 7, Wade says, give me that, and you take this. We'll take another look at that with the ESPN Access. Great move, great finish by Wade. He had 10 in the fourth, 18 in the second half. Here's James on Wade's resurgent performance.
He's a Warrior, he's a 2-time champ, and a lot of people doubt him, but he just showed tonight why, you know, he's a Hall of Famer and he's still one of the best this game has ever seen.
He was 06 Flash tonight.
More vintage Wade. Drives inside, and even Duncan can't deter him. 32 points in all for Wade to go with James is 33. Chris Bosh is 20. The big three combined for 85 points, the most in the playoffs since they've been together. And that was enough to power Miami to a 109-93 win and even the series at 2 games apiece. Miami shot 53%. They out-rebounded San Antonio by 5 as well. They also forced 19 turnovers, turned them into 23 points. San Antonio's 3-point production cut in half. 16 for 32 in Game 3, 8 for 16 in Game 4. The Heat take back home court as they even the series.
I put the pressure on myself. I said I can't play like I played the first 3 games or even Game 3 and expect for us to win. So came out with a different mindset, and it just trickled down to everybody else.
LeBron and Shane both say that was 2006 Flash right there in the house. Do you feel like 2006?
No, I don't feel like 2006, but it felt good. You know, when you see the ball go through the basket, and then you get more confident. I knew I was on when I took it over the guy's head and dunked it on the break. That was a little vintage right there. So it felt good to have a performance like this in this game when we really needed it.
When Bosh, Wade, and James score the way they did tonight and shoot it the way they did tonight, team's going to have a difficult time if you help them and shoot poorly from the free throw line as we did and give over 20 points on turnovers. It's not going to happen.
The series is being decided, you know, by this. It might not be that way in the games, but in terms of how competitive it actually is.
We're going to keep giving credit to Miami. They played a very good game. Eventually they were solid. We had opportunities to get right back into it. We get it to whatever 3 points, and we make a turnover, and they turn it into a score. So we'll give credit to Miami, and we'll leave it there.
Tony Parker, by the way, no points in the second half. Miami, we mentioned that resiliency at the top of the show. 6-0 following losses this postseason, and all 6 of those wins have come by double digits. Only 4 teams in NBA history finished the postseason by going 6-0 or better, and they all went on to win the NBA title. Let's check in with the NBA Countdown crew.
Welcome back to San Antonio for our continuing coverage of the NBA Finals. Game 4, the Miami Heat come back with a vengeance. And on a night where LeBron James goes 33-11, he's not the headliner. No, that man, Dwayne Wade, with his best performance of these playoffs, 32 points, 6 steals, no turnovers. This was Dwayne Wade of 2006. Flashback performance. You surprised?
I am surprised that he carried it for 4 quarters. But when the big three, Michael, play like this, there's no team in the world that can beat the Miami Heat. And then the King said, I'm going to play better. That being LeBron James and Jalen, he played fantastic. He was in attack mode all game long.
It's mentality, Magic. LeBron James showed up in fatigues with a hat that said us versus them. That sets the tone. Eric Spoelstra, chess move, takes Haslam out of the lineup, puts in Mike Miller. All of a sudden, there are matchup problems for the San Antonio Spurs. Wade looks in front of him. A lot of the time, he sees Thiago Splitter guarding him. He sees Boris Diaw guarding him.
That's a red cape in the front of him right
kicks
there.
In. And then when you're able to get multiple blocks, multiple steals for a total of 20, Those are opportunities like you see right there to get out in transition, to get layups, to get dunks. And all of a sudden, that warm-up jumper feels a lot better, Bill Simmons. And once great players get going, it's hard to stop them.
I think what I learned about this game tonight, or from this game, I miss watching Dwayne Wade. I mean, he's one of the best 5'2" guards of all time. We haven't really seen him play like that in a long time. And the great thing about Miami, especially during that streak, he got hurt about 2/3 of the way through that streak. They kind of hung on for the last few wins. They were never really totally the same team. I just missed watching him, and I thought he was great tonight.
We talked about this at halftime. We know study Dwayne Wade, because like you look, Dwayne Wade and I grew up in the same general area in Chicago. I've been watching Dwayne Wade all his life, it seems, and I love watching him at his best. He came out, in this game with ice on his knee in a wrap at halftime.
Yeah,
and
we were all like, whoa.
with ice.
Yeah.
We thought they were going to have to encase him in ice. You know what's going on. Because Dwayne Wade told me last week, he has to pick his spots. He's quarter to quarter, not day to day, quarter to quarter.
Well, you know what? Offensively, he still was dominant in the second half. Matter of fact, LeBron James was on the bench watching him dominate that third
In the biggest
quarter.
part of the game,
Exactly.
yeah, fourth quarter. Yeah.
And so then, don't forget about the Miami Heat defense, because the defense was outstanding, and that got LeBron James in the transition because they were blocking shots. They were stealing the basketball, and then they made the game easy for LeBron and for the Miami Heat. They turned the role players back into role players. Danny Green and Gary Neal were just role players tonight.
Fast feet, active hands. Didn't allow Danny Green, as you mentioned, just stand there and knock down jump shots. Chased him off the line, made him dribble a couple of times. He had a couple of turnovers. Did a very good job of defending Neal and keeping Manu Ginobili virtually silent. He had as many fouls as points for the most part this game. That won't get it done for the San Antonio Spurs. Terrific effort by the Miami Heat. Great coaching by Eric Spoelstra.
And I went into this game thinking that LeBron was going to have a game like he had against Boston in Game 6 last year. Maybe scored between 40, 45 points. I thought him and Wade together had to get to 60. I didn't know Wade was going to carry 50% of that. And to be honest, I don't think Greg Popovich did either.
Bosh, as you've been talking about, we've been saying no more 2-3. Play like a 4-5, and we saw that offensively and defensively with hands, with keeping guys changing their shots and blocking shots.
And he's taking a lot of heat too, Chris Bosh. Wade's hurt. Chris Bosh doesn't have an excuse. He just takes heat.
Well, I must admit, I thought the big three were done before this game, because we hadn't seen them play great together.
That's right.
So Mickey Arison can keep them together. The owner of the Heat.
They're back.
Pat Riley can keep them together. They're back in a big way.
So Bosh can sell that house and buy another one.
That's right.
By the way, when Dwayne Wade scores 20 or more points, the Heat have won 29 consecutive games. Dwayne Wade
not
has
one,
20 or
not
more.
two.
Look at the big three, victorious tonight here in San Antonio. Let's throw it back to the studio.
Flashlight.
He's taken 3-2 in 18 innings. Number 7, NBA Finals, Manu Ginobili to Tim Duncan. But LeBron James forces Duncan to live with rejection. LeBron James said when the Heat's big three are clicking, they're tough to beat. Thursday, they were impossible to beat. It's a best of 3 at this point.
Now or never, fellas. What we always dreamed of.
Parker with the spin, blocked by Bosh. Pass stolen by Wade. Oh, gets in and throws it down.
While we're young.